Online, do you hear me? I guess not. Oh, yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Carl. Thanks. Okay, guys, thank you. So, today we're going to be talking about a very boring subject. That's why I don't have a lot of people here. It's the most boring subject, but it's the most important subject. But people like excitement, and it's not an exciting subject. It's called tracking numbers. First of all, agents have a very hard time with numbers to start. Agents and numbers just don't go together. Okay? So, tracking numbers is even worse, because then you have to track something you don't like to do generally. Okay. So, why is it so important to track your numbers? So, let's start with the important things. So, let me give you guys some information. The best agents in the world, by now, 75% of their business already done. Are you following what I'm saying? It's not supposed to be 50% because we've done 50% of the year, right? But typically, the best agents in the world have already done most of their business by June 30th. Okay, 75% of it. So, why is it important to use the numbers analyzers, the one that we give you in the business plan? Why is it important to fill up the daily information? Why is that so important? Go ahead.
Because it will help you to be able to repeat what's working.
Be able to repeat what's working, okay.
Know where you're at and assess what needs to be done and where you're going. Yeah.
So let me tell you guys something. Any of you here ever flown a plane other than me? Okay. Car? You drive a yeah.
I flew a car once.
You flew a car? Yeah. No, and plane is pretty interesting because it has a lot of dials, but cars still have. I mean, you sit in the car and you have dials in front of you. You have, the engine block heat, the speed, the RPM. You have few information, right in front of you. So imagine this. Imagine I put you in a car, okay, blindfold you and say drive. Well, that's what you guys do. When you don't put that information in, you're not saying to yourself where you are, where you're going, or what you need to do. So Bianca said it in a good way. It tells you what you need to work on. So when you input the information on daily basis in your analyzer, that information, that's raw data. That's raw information. Okay, that means absolutely nothing. It's mostly zeros. Okay, so you're looking at it and it's like, yeah. But these numbers are translated onto your dashboard. And that dashboard is where I can analyze where you have difficulties. By just looking at that dashboard, I can say to you, well, you're burning way too much fuel because you're not shifting enough at the speed you're going. Okay? So do we want to burn fuel? No, it's stupid. Okay, so I can help you do that. But if I don't see the dashboard, I don't understand what's going on, I can't help you. Following? That's why in the first 2 quarters, 75% of the business is already done for the people that track their numbers because they know where they're at, they know where they're going, and they're able to adjust much faster than people that don't have access to that information. Follow me? So it's important to see where you're at and it's important to see where you're going. But in order to know where you're going, you need to know where you are. Okay, and that's why it's very, very important that you fill up that information. So when you have the beautiful part of this is the following. When you input really your information, and by the way, do you know why people don't want to input their information?
But they don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know the truth.
Thank you. Okay? They don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know that they are not doing the job that they're supposed to be doing. So think of it that way. If you are able to play a game with yourself and say, okay, my goal today is to talk to 25 people. No matter what it is, that's my goal. And if you actually play the game with yourself, you're going to talk to 25 people. But if you don't want to play the game, then you'll do whatever number of calls that you have until you get a phone call or an email that distracts you, or some, a Facebook post that's going to distract you, and then the day's moving and you have done 15, 17 calls, but oh, it's okay, I'll do them tomorrow. You'll never do them tomorrow. When the day passed, it's finished. If you don't do your 25, if you do 22, maybe you'll be lucky enough to do 28 the next day. But in general, ain't happening.
If you miss a point of 5,
It's not gonna happen. So, and I'll tell you why a lot of people have a hard time setting a daily goal. You guys know? Yeah, okay, just, you guys have pen and papers, all of you? Okay.
I'm writing on my
I think
computer.
everybody has, yeah.
Good?
Yeah, it's good, it's good. Yeah, okay. So, let me just see here. So, yes, I did also saying the same thing, so you could track your progress. But let me explain something that is very, very important. See, if you can set up daily goals are just, it doesn't have to be huge. Think about it this way, okay? If you set up 2 wins in a day, 2 things, you say, if I do A and B, I'll be happy. And let's say you work 200, 240 days a year. If you actually achieve 2 things per day over 240, at the end of that year, you've accumulated almost 500 items that you've achieved. Now, are you better off with 500 or 0?
500.
Okay. Are you more knowledgeable when you have 500 new things that you've achieved? So why is it so difficult to set up a daily goal? Can I share with you why? Because you don't know the value of that goal. So I'll ask you the question. I'll ask the question to whoever, yeah, please put it on mute. Thanks for no vibrations. So I was asking the question, Adib says, people don't have an idea what is a realistic goal. You're right, Adib. And the reason why they don't have an idea is because they don't track their numbers. So let me ask you the question in a different way. Who here knows exactly how many contacts he needs to do in order to make a sale? You know? Okay. How many contacts do you need to make an actual
To
sale?
make an 44.
44. How many do you need? I don't know.
40.
Just
Because I'm doing SEOI and PC, so it's faster.
still more.
Yes.
Something is wrong with it. Last
You're not-
year,
I'm only.
are you
I'm only
recording
talking to 5
everybody?
people
Yeah,
a
she's
day.
recording everybody. She's not talking to
I'm
everybody.
not talking to everybody.
It's fine.
last year,
Actually, she's pretty right. If you just work your COI, that's what it is.
You only need 40 minutes.
last year I was at 126.
Okay.
This
But you
year,
do everything. Expired, for sale by owners, just listed.
everything
Okay, that's why you do it.
Just
126 makes sense.
for 25.
Okay,
Last year was 126. This year I'm 244.
244. So it's a little bit longer. You know.
But
Okay.
I changed my approach. Before I was doing everything and I was taking everything. And
So-
now I
So let me
only do
ask you guys a question. So what's your average commission, Bianca?
Well, it's gone up a lot because I changed my bracket.
Okay, so what is your average commission rate?
About 15,000.
About 15,000. So let's make the math. 15,000 divided by 44 contacts. How much is that?
You doing the math?
Yeah, make the math.
15,000.
Divided by
Go do the
44.
math.
How many?
$340.
So let me ask you a question. How much money do you want to make today?
The goal is 300.
Today.
Oh,
Today.
Oh, I have to
Aujourd'hui.
break it down.
Well, I'm asking you, how much money would you like to make? I'm just going to make it easy for you. How much money would you like to make today? Just today. Not tomorrow, not next week.
1,000.
1,000? So it's super easy. If you want to make $1,000 today, then what you have to do is take that $1,000 and divide it by the number that we came up with, which is 340. So how many people do you need to speak to today? If your numbers are real, which they're not, I'm telling you, you're missing something, and I'll talk to you about it. It's extremely.
Even if it's PCS, it doesn't make sense.
Well, that's what I'm tracking, so.
Really?
It's 200 degrees outside and it's hailing.
It's hail.
I hear it. What?
It's hail.
You're joking.
Holy crap. It's a big deal.
Yeah, we used to get
And
this
it's
in fire.
So
Okay, let's go down to these numbers.
let's crunch these numbers. Guys, once you understand how much you make per contact,
3 calls, just 3 calls.
she has to make 3 calls and she'll make $1,000. Did you make 3 calls today? See? She says she wants to make 1,000. The reality is she doesn't know how much she makes per contact. Now she knows.
Now I know.
So if she actually really knows the number, then it's pretty easy to set up a daily goal. Think about it. I want to make $1,000. I know that for every, I make $100 per contact on average. I just need to speak to 10 people. No, one sale.
One sale.
Yeah.
But I know what I'm talking to. You know who you're talking to. I don't know what I'm talking to.
So, the question that you gotta ask yourself is, how would she know her daily goal? Have you noticed she knows how many contacts it takes her? She knows her average commission. She didn't even know how much she's making per call.
That I didn't know.
Well, now you do.
Now I do.
So now that you know how much you're doing per call, now the next question is, how much money do you want to make? So guys, it's not that complicated. It's a mechanic that's all interlinked.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's closed. Jesus Christ.
That's true, you have to work for
No, not in the summer. Not anymore. I learned.
Why, you dropped this? Yeah, it's
Oh my God.
Of course, I'm gonna take a beat. It is hail. You're wondering that it's
No,
hail.
no. I know, I saw. They're huge.
It reminds me of Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so I'm screaming. Like I hear myself. I know, right? Okay, so guys, if you don't understand your numbers, you'll never be able to set goals. And it's very easy to set daily goals. Very easy. If you know what these goals are going to bring you. So for example, if you say, well, I'd like to make 30 transactions. And I know it takes me 44 contacts to make a transaction, or make it easy, 100 contacts to make a transaction. And I want to make 30. How many contacts do I have to make a year? 30 times 100, 3,000, right? How many days I'm going to be working? I'm going to be working 200 days. Great. Now you take 3,000 divided by 200, and that gives you 13.3 contacts per day. That is your daily goal. That's exactly your daily goal. So the daily goal will not change just because today I feel like making 14 contacts and tomorrow I don't feel like coming to work because of the hail. It doesn't work that way.
It was just telling you
To raise my voice. Okay? So
it keeps getting louder.
keeps getting louder. Yeah. So the question that you gotta ask yourself is, what is my daily goal? And in order to answer what is your daily goal, you need to know what it takes to make a sale. And if you don't track your numbers, you'll never know that number. Okay, ever. So one of the best ways to have that kind of goal setting and tracking the numbers is to have an accountability partner. Okay, I have Kareem as my accountability partner to input all the information. He has to do it every Tuesday morning. because we have our coaching call with our coach on Tuesday at 10. So Tuesday at 10, we have to show our numbers, your numbers, to our coach. And look at the sales and take the listings and see how we are compared to our goals. Are we on target? Are we not on target?
Your voice is going off because of the alias. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay? So,
How is hearing a lot anyway?
can't hear shit. Okay, so either have somebody in your one of your colleagues being accountability with you every morning and say, okay, I'm gonna make 15 calls. You tell me, okay, I'm gonna make 17 calls. Great. At the end, how many calls did you make? I made my 17. How did you make? I made my 13. Why? You said you're gonna make 15. That's a challenge. That's a confrontation. What happened? Confrontation is not a fight. Confrontation is when you have a conversation with another person about a goals that you have set up. So I want to make 15. I did 13. So he's challenging me by asking me, okay, so what happened? How come you didn't go to 15? Oh, I got two guys that it was very, very long conversations. Okay, but you're missing two. Why didn't you finish these two? Oh, maybe I was tired. Okay, so you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Right? And nobody wants to be confronted. So because they don't want to be confronted, they don't want to have an accountability partner. Okay, so have one. Generally, when you do have an accountability partner, you're going to be able to get much more done within
It
certain.
does make a difference. I have
It makes a huge
mastermind.
Makes a huge difference. Okay, so by tracking your numbers, you'll know something else too. You will know who is giving you business. Like, so she's gone, but she was talking about referring you business, right? So past clients or sphere of influence. Now, let me ask you something. Don't I ask you for referrals all the time?
Yeah.
How many times a year do I ask you for referrals? Oh, great, I like that. It's actually 4, but if he feels that it's 10, that means. So let me, when I ask for referrals, why do I do that?
I do, when I get this message,
To
I'm
get
like, oh, it's time
more-
for me to call
Get
my
more
clients.
clients.
Yeah, but that's because that's my job.
That's his job.
My job is to do your job on a different level. Your job is to get listings and sales. My job is to bring in new agents or existing agents and build them into becoming better agents. That's my job. So everybody has a job. Okay? If you don't know who refers you the most, then can you give them a better service?
No.
So let's say you had 100 people in your database and 5 of them referred you a client. Are these 5 people, do they deserve a little better service?
And
How would you know who these 5 people
I
are?
see I'm getting those-
Well, because they're not getting any good referrals. You're getting a very good service. Don't involve. Don't do that. Eat your food. Okay, yeah. Behave. So, when you get those people to give you business or refer you business, and you decide to give them a better service, can you call them maybe every other month or every month instead of every 3 months? Can you give them more in-depth information? Take more time and say, listen, you were asking me about interest rate. I gathered up some information. That's what I think it is. Now, do you think you're giving a better service or a worse service to these people?
Better.
Would they be a better ambassador for you? Would they give you more business?
They'll be raving,
You'll
they'll
look
become
more
raving
forward-
fans.
You also look more forward to calling them also.
Absolutely.
Happy to call them.
Absolutely. So, I saw this client that wrote that beautiful thing about what, was it a sale or a purchase? It was both ways. It was a very nice message. So that person deserves a call at least every month. I mean, this is great advertising for free, right? A huge paragraph. He really, I read it, it's detailed. Yeah, he took his time and wrote you something nice. And I think that's important, that you recognize that and you keep track of it. So if you don't keep track of your numbers, you'll never be able to figure out where you're going. So our analyzer, the one that is based off of my Ferry system, but a little bit more elaborated, has everything in it. So that means when you take on a listing or a buyer, you'll know exactly where they're coming from. So if it's a past client, sphere of influence, just listed, just sold. So at the year after, if you actually integrate all that stuff, now you'll be able to say, okay, so I've spoken to mostly past clients in sphere of influence. I've spoken to a total of, let's say, 1,000 people during the year, and that got me 15 deals. So how many people can I add to that database? I can add another 10. So instead of making 1,000, I'm going to make 1,100. All right. Instead of making 15 deals, I'll be making maybe 17 deals. Can I make 25 deals with the same database?
No, you have to go get extra.
No, so that means you have to go get extra. And now you need to figure out that extra, how much time will it require from me? And in order to know that, you need to track numbers, not just your past clients in your sphere of influence, but just listed, just sold, expired, for sale by owner. Because that way you'll know, okay, so hold on a minute. I got 4 listings that year from FSBOs, and I've contacted on average 10 FSBO per week. So I've spoken to 500 FSBOs. So that means it takes me about 100 contacts to make a sale with FSBO. And then you'll see the expired, and then you'll see just listed and just sold, and you'll know your percentage. So
And if you know your percentage, actually you can improve on your.
yeah, so that's the cool part of it. So now that you see, okay, well, hold on, I just listed and just sold, it takes me 40 contacts and I get a listing or I get a sale. Expired, I'm at 25. FSBOs, I'm at 100. Why? So now what you'll understand is you need to work on your skills. You need to improve your skills for FSBOs. You've been doing a great job for just listed, just sold, or expired. But then now I need to maybe learn better objection handlers for FSBOs, because I want to bring that number down from 100 to say 50. So I got to go on more appointments, and to go on more appointments, I need better tools. And now you're improving your business. Now you're working on your business to improve it. So then if you have a coaching call, you say, okay, my coach, listen, my issue right now is FSBOs. For the next 2 months, the next 8 sessions that I have with you, we need to work on FSBOs. Okay? You remember I told you in 2016, I worked for 6 months on pricing? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
You know why? It's because I realized that I was having expireds equal to the market. So I was expiring about 20% of the time, and the market was 20% of the time. So I'm like, that means I'm as good as any other agent. If I want to be better than everybody else, then what do I have to be strong at? Pricing. Because I want to have less expire. I don't want to work more. Remember that. You got to understand something. I didn't want to work more.
Neither do I.
What I wanted to make is more money with the same amount of time.
Exactly.
So in order to do that, so I said, okay, so hold on a minute. I take about 100, 150 listings. I don't know how many I used to take. Let's say 150 listings throughout the year. And 20% of them expire. That's 30 listings. 30 times at the time, I think I was making 8,000. So that's $210,000, $240,000 down the drain. So how could I save? How could I make 100 extra thousand without working more hours? So I have to cut the expireds from 20% to 10%. Because if I do that, then I'll be able to make 15 more sales at 8,000 each. There you go. I'm making my $100,000 more. So I worked for 6 months on pricing. Pricing, because that's the only thing that sells a property. And so I could tell you that I didn't work more. I improved my skills, but I didn't work more. I worked the same amount of hours, same amount of contacts, and generated an extra $100,000. Follow me?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know what to work on if I didn't have a dashboard that tells me where I am. You need to see these dials. I mean, why the hell is this thing? I'm driving at 100. Why is the RPM at 8,000? It's crazy. Oh, I'm on third gear. I have to be on fifth gear, on sixth gear. So I have to change my gears. Here I have to change my approach. I have to change my way of discussing pricing. You follow me? So that's why it's important. By tracking your numbers, you're going to know who's giving you business, and second, you'll see where you have difficulties that you need to work on. Okay? If you don't track your numbers, all that stuff, guys, you can't see. You cannot take these decisions if you don't know where you're at. Okay? So, now let me ask you something. If you tell the computer to add you 1 + 1, what is the answer it's going to give you? 2. Can it give you 3? Can it give you 1.5? Can your brain give you 1.5? Can your brain give you 3? Why? Because it's subjective. Because you're going to say, yeah, Fadi, I'll tell you why it's 3. 1 + 1 normally is 2, but you see the number one, the first one of the 2, well, that was, and then you're going to give all kinds of excuses to that first one to make it a 2. And now it's 2 + 1, and it's 3. But if you actually put your numbers in the analyzer, there's no bullshit. It's the truth. It's the raw truth. It's something you don't want to look at. Okay? If you really want to know the truth, go inside a room, take all your clothes off, look at the mirror. That's the truth. That's the truth. We accept it or we don't. That's a different conversation. You like what you see, great. You don't like what you see, work on it. It's not complicated. It is what it is. It's raw information. Numbers are raw information. Raw. There's no, yeah, but this one was mean with me. That one, I almost closed him. You either closed or you didn't. You see, in this business, second best is dead. Second best is shot. Down.
Trophy.
There's not, forget trophy. He's getting 0. Okay? But there's no participation trophy. You see, all that shit that we teach you in school, it doesn't work in real life.
You did good.
No.
Keep going.
Yeah. You know, we almost, oh my God, we almost chose you. Like, Bianca, you were like, yeah, but we chose Jessica because.
You're done.
Like, thank you. Like, it's not going to make any difference. Don't give me all the, it doesn't matter. I got no check. Period. No listing. Period. Swallow. That's the truth. So if you input your numbers properly, you'll know the truth. You may not like it. You may not want to handle it, but that is the truth. You may start drinking, smoking, doing all kinds of crap, you know, but that is the truth. So if you decide not to know the truth,
They look better than numbers when you.
so let me just
So
read
you'll
some
see
comments.
Zeros on the side that
So
you
my commitment is key, obviously. Why not all my clients? Adib, all of them are, absolutely, yeah. So Adib is saying, why not all my clients are my best business referrals? Absolutely. Absolutely, they are if you are able to provide them a service at a higher level.
Sorry, Fadi.
The higher your service level, I'll answer you. The higher, Adib, to answer your question, the higher your commitment to your clients, past clients or sphere of influence, the higher your commitment to them, the higher chances you have of giving you back business. Yes.
However, on the same subject, just to piggyback on your thought, realistically, being in the business for a long time, we know for a fact that there are clients that they become raving fan, which is if you have 10 of them, that's great. And there are clients, they are comfortable to do every single deal with you, but they're just not comfortable. They never refer anybody.
Yeah.
They're just not.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
They will never go to anybody but you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're looking for all the clients, but if there is, let me ask you this. Is there a possibility that there's one of these clients that have never referred you anybody, loves your service, always goes to you, but never referred to anybody, is there a possibility to convert them into becoming more sharing with you?
Possibility?
Yeah? And if yes, tell me how.
No.
So you say no. Who says yes? Who says no? You cannot convert a very good client that does business with you regularly or trusts you blindly. What are the odds that, and he never referred to anybody in the past, what are the odds that you can convert him into becoming someone that would refer you future business?
I know for a fact it's less than 1%. And the reason for that, I'll explain why, is just they are the type. I confronted them, asking them a question. They said, I'm just not the type. I don't like to refer, it's just their type.
Yeah.
And you can't change a person.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with you. Who doesn't agree to that? I'm going to give you some hints. I'll give you some ideas, but who doesn't believe what she said?
Listen, I don't, because I've never faced like that situation, let's say, but in my opinion, it's like going to like such a good restaurant. If you go to a good restaurant, you like it, you refer to everybody. If you like something so much,
I can't tell you.
you're gonna want to like rave about it.
Yeah, but hold on. She's saying that if the person's nature is not to refer, how could my question is if his nature is not to refer you, how can I change that nature? Is there a way to change that nature?
Probably is, but what is it?
Okay, yes, yeah.
Sounds like this one.
Well, she said, I asked them the
Showing,
question and they never
benefits.
referred me anybody.
Like that kind of person,
They
you know,
don't
listen,
listen.
every
They
person,
will not go to anybody but me.
you know, listen, when you refer, like if you refer me to someone, I'll, you know, give them
That's
something
you.
back.
But that's you're giving something.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
idea,
So-
Some kind of people only,
well,
you know.
Keep
I know
contact.
So May says, yes, there's a way.
Whichever.
I think you can, but we have to, okay, so May, I'd love to hear your opinion.
So is it to be in contact after saying with the.
Well, obviously you have to be in contact after saying.
Contact and
What she's saying is, even when you're doing this, they're not referring you somebody.
They like you.
They love you,
Their
they'll
nature.
deal with
It's
you,
just their nature.
but in their nature, they're not gonna refer you.
They're shy. Because
There are people that do not feel that it's in their interest to share a good thing with somebody else. They feel that
It's not their nature.
you're going to lose, that you're giving this advantage to somebody else. There are people that feel that way.
Or
Okay.
they feel like
Yes,
I
they
have
have-
a sister.
They may have all the feelings.
I have a sister. She says, I'm flat. She says, I don't want ever to be, if something doesn't work out, I'm in the middle.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just her nature. She
I
would
agree. She
never
doesn't want to
refer
be. She
anybody.
doesn't want to be responsible for. Okay, I'll give you guys a hint on what you can do. Try it.
Okay,
There must be
Yes.
something.
There's something that works because it worked for me in the past.
okay.
I'm guessing it works. So, if they really like you, one of the ways that you could approach it is, you could say something like, "Mata, I've known you for the past 5 years. You've never referred me anybody, and I understand. But right now I'm in shit. I'm in trouble. Okay, because I have to take 10 listings this month, and I wasn't able to take more than 2. I really need anybody that's looking to buy or sell real estate. So who do you know that can help me out?" That's a little confrontation that you have with your clients. By saying, "I know you don't refer me, and I respect that, but I need your help. At this point, I need your help." And there's a big difference between I refer me business and I need your help. People will do an extra step when they're
I
not
agree.
comfortable doing it to help somebody.
To help them. Yeah, I agree with you. But here's another way I found that I do it now.
Sure.
Share. Which has helped me to add more people to my database.
Yeah, but that's definitely you
No,
need
no.
to add people. to
Yeah,
it.
but here's the trick that well, not a trick, but I learned it from another Mike Ferry agent. Whether I'm signing a buyer contract with them or a listing with them. I just turned, especially if I'm signing a listing, well, I need to let everyone know about this right now, and so everybody in my database will know about it. I'm gonna reach out to everybody at the office so they can tell their database. However, there are people that you know from work, family and friends, that I can reach out to them to help someone figure. So I turn the paper and pen and I say, now, can you write me 5 to 10 names with phone numbers and emails? So I can send them the listing and they can advertise it in their companies. And I end up getting sisters and uncles and brothers
You're always
and
gonna get
I
them.
call them right away and I become automatically in
No,
without necessarily.
that's what I'm saying. When you ask specific questions, when you ask very, very specific questions, you're gonna get very specific answers. When you ask a vague question, do you know anybody that wants to sell? Nobody knows anybody that wants to sell. But who do you know that wants to sell is a little bit more clear. Who do you know from your colleagues that need to sell? Now their brain is working in a different way.
Anyone.
My colleagues, I don't know anybody. All right, how about your family? You know, your direct family, your kids, your mother, your father. Insurance agents, people that work in life insurance, they never leave the house of any of their prospects without 5 more names. Never. And if they do, they're not doing a good job. Imagine if you could have 5 names from every one of your database to add to your database. If you have 100, at the end of the year, you'll be at 600. And what is the name of the game in this business? The bigger your database that you actually work, the more you make, because your return on investment is 10%. 10% of your database should give you business, okay? So remember that. So, May said, okay, yes, there is a way. Deep people refer because they want to look good equals you have to be exceptional. Correct. I agree. Okay, so there are 2 ways to increase your efficiency, guys. I want you to write them down. 2 ways. Okay? Your efficiency can only be, well, can be increased in many, many different ways, but these 2 ways are the best. Now, 1, if you want to make more money in general, the first way is to increase the amount of contacts per day. So if you're making 10 contacts and you're making 15 deals at the end of the year, you want to make 30 deals, you need to grow to 20 contacts. So you go from 10 to 20. That's one way to increase your efficiency. Number 2, increase the quality of your contact. Increase the quality of your contact. There's a third one. I said there's 2. I'm just telling you a third one, a simple one.
Line up.
It's a mix of both. What if you can increase the number of contacts and the quality of the contact? Now you're multiplying your strength. So let's say, again, I said I'm going to go back to the time when I had to work a lot on pricing. I didn't want to work more because I was already making 42 contacts every day. I didn't want to make 50 contacts. I wanted to increase my business 10%. Okay. But I didn't want to do an extra 4 or 5 calls every day. I didn't want to do that. So I had to improve something. And so I improved the pricing strategy to reduce my expires. Same thing in terms of contacts. You could say, well, do I want to have a better script? Is my script maybe the way I'm saying it, maybe a little bit more?
So sharpen your skills.
Sharpen your skills. Should I have better objection handlers? Should I work more on which objection is really always putting me in a corner? You know, if they say, look, my brother-in-law is a real estate agent. So that one I'm always having a hard time with. Well, what is 2 or 3 ways that I can answer that objection? How can I become better at answering that objection? And so you practice it and practice it and practice it, and then boom, you put it in place. And now all of a sudden, when they give you that objection, you're a little bit better off. You know a little bit how to answer that question. Well, all of a sudden, boom, you got an appointment that you were not getting before. Follow me? So you can either increase the number of contacts or improve the quality of the contact, or a combination of these 2. Okay? And how can I help you build the combinations? The best way to build the combinations is to know where you are. Then I can help you build a combination. At one point, I was playing so much with my numbers that I realized that's when I realized that I needed to work on my pricing, because I was looking at the numbers and, my contacts, I had 69 contacts per sale, which was very, very low, very low. The properties that we decided to take were the ones that sell fast. So I didn't want to take on too much bigger properties that at the time were taking too long. So I had to work on something. And then I started looking and looking, like, why don't I said, okay, 20% are expiring. Okay, what is the market? Then I looked at the market. Oh, that's about 20%. So I said, hold on a minute. What does that tell you? I'm as good as the other guy. How can I be better than the other guy? And then I started using it. I started using my statistics during a listing presentation. I'd say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, that's how many expires there is in the market. That's the percentage. That's my expires. So do you want to have this chance of selling or this chance of? Well, why do you have those? These are the stubborn ones that don't listen to what I have to say. Isn't that great? So you don't want to be one of those? Listen to what I have to say. You see? It created confidence. It created better numbers. It created better efficiency, better effectiveness of my time. So that's the elements that you'll get when you understand your numbers. So spend some time every day to write these numbers and look at your dashboard and look at it change over time. Take pictures. Look back. Oh, okay, that was in January. My gosh, we're in February. Look at these numbers. They've changed. Now I'm doing less contacts per sale. I'm doing higher sales. You take a picture of your dashboard every week or every month, and then you compare month over month, and it tells you where you're improving. Because the moment you look at it is the present time. Remember that. You're seeing the present, like you're seeing the history up to date, but you're not seeing the improvement of history. And then you're hitting yourself. Oh my God, I could be better. But you are becoming better. If you would look back, you would see that the time that you've invested in learning that new skill, it brought you down from say 75 contacts to 69 contacts. But you don't see it because every day it's just little micro changes. So we don't really see it. But when you look back, you can see it. So that's one way that you can do that. So in order to do the adjustment of skills, you need to see where you were, where you're heading, and what has been done. So you need to keep your analyzer numbers up to date, guys. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it, but the only way you will be able to understand is by keeping these numbers up to date. So keep them up to date. Have an accountability partner ASAP. Good? Any questions? Any questions? No. Yeah, please.
We're talking about the quality of contacts, et cetera. So if you notice that you're much better in one than another one, shouldn't you double down maybe on the good one and eliminate the shit one?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, Costa. Very good question. So yes and no. Yes, when you know your strength, it's good to work on your strengths. And I always say work on your strength, not your weaknesses. But there's a problem with this business, is it's a cyclical business. So if you're very, very, very strong on expireds, very strong on expireds, or very strong on FISBOs, okay? And tomorrow morning, Jacob deal closes. Where are you going to get all these leads from? Now you're depending on something. If you're amazing with expireds, and all of a sudden we're in a very hot market, is there any expireds?
No, that's a
So what happens? That's why you need to be strong in all four of them. You got to develop your strength in all four of them.
Mike says diversify.
I go
He
through
said
cycles.
never. Mike said never because I did that mistake.
Yeah.
And my just listed just sold. I wasn't making a lot of those.
I know.
And
then when you go to a market that was
And I
crazy,
was like-
you have no other.
option, and
Calls.
and I sounded like shit over the phone.
Absolutely. No,
Like, so, and you're more efficient on the phone in terms of contacts than the door knocking.
Yeah,
So
but
I
it's much
needed to
more
go-
powerful to door knock.
Yes and no. So when it's a very hot market, you're more efficient on the phone, a lot more efficient on the phone.
Some people like contacts.
I went to the door, and
Whatever-
the only
whatever
reason
makes you
I
comfortable.
went to the door, I'm comfortable because I sounded better at the door than over the phone. And I didn't have a choice because I needed to turn it around very quickly. But Mike said, every day, you gotta call all your sources.
Yeah,
You
you have
can
to- you have to
never
put 'em on.
depend on just one.
I
person.
had, it was 20, 10, 10.
Because
That's-
even with your PC and COI, and that's what happened with me.
I'm getting lazy.
No, it's not, no, forget lazy. It's gonna dry, it will dry. It's gonna come to a point where right now they don't have anybody to do it.
Or another answer that could be, well, even if you're not doing, say, do proprios, that script, you'll use it somewhere else, you make it,
Uh-huh.
and then somewhere else it's easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get some of the objections that are
I'm
from
getting
companies that just
complacent.
come, you know.
I'm getting complacent.
Yeah.
Go get something that's gonna hurt you, that's what Mike says.
Okay,
Fadi,
so
question
So in other
regarding
words, you
sound.
should diversify, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question
Yeah.
regarding goals?
So, hold on, take a picture every week, you said, right?
every week or every month, it's okay every month too, but as long as you know where you're at, where you were, and then look at the variation of the number.
I wanna go back to goals because.
What?
Goals.
And I'm talking goals,
You're welcome, May, but we're almost done.
I want to talk to you about goals on a little bit on a larger scale, because it's important that it's not just number of goals. That's what I'm having. I've been listening to RLPDQ and the Swim Secret and all that. And he says, focus on one goal at a time.
Mhm.
How do you, I'll give you, for example, right now I have a goal for my business, which is, 50 deals this year.
Mhm.
But I also have a goal.
It's too
of-
complicated.
What?
Your goal is already too complicated.
It's in the deal?
Yeah.
It's complicated.
50, she said, whatever it is, but it's already too complicated.
In what sense it's complicated, right? It's 50 or I need to break it down.
You have to go to the least, to the smallest unit possible, achievable on daily basis.
Okay.
So, when you say I want to make 50 deals, for me, that's worthless. Why?
No, you have to break the 50, that's what you need to do every day, basically.
So,
Like what I.
so 50 is not really a number. 50 is a fictive number, it's in your mind.
No.
What is a real
specific.
number? What is a real number when you come to the office?
How many contacts?
Oh, the contacts, yeah.
That's it. So you break it down, you take that 50 and you say, okay, 50, why 50? Because whatever, okay, 50. How many contacts do I normally have to make in order to get one? I need 100. Okay, so that's 100 times 50, that's 5,000. Okay, how many days a week am I gonna work? I'm gonna work 5 days a week. How many weeks a year I'm gonna work? I'm gonna work 40 days. All right, 40 times 5, 200. 5,000 divided by 200, okay, gives me whatever, it gives me 25, okay? 25 contacts. That is an achievable goal today.
Oh.
50 is a dream. 50 is,
Well,
I
that's
want to
the
get to
last-
Miami.
Yeah.
It's still a dream. When I sit in my car, what's the next step? Well, I got to get out of the damn parking.
Okay.
That is a goal. And then the next goal is I'm out of the parking, I got to turn left. And then I got to get to the
So
light.
the 90s are the smaller goals. Or
The
plan of
smallest
action
unit, the
to
smallest
get you
unit,
to the big
the
goal.
smallest
down.
unit should be your goal.
Reduce it.
Break it down into the smallest piece ever. So what is the smallest piece in our business?
So how do you do it?
Contacts.
Okay, so let
You have
me-
control over that.
That's the only thing you have control over. Everything else
Your
I have no
attitude,
control.
your attitude.
You follow me?
Okay.
So 50 is worth, what is 50?
So
50 is a
there's
piece of paper. In reality, that's what it is.
Yes.
Okay. But what is real? When you come into the office, what is real? What is like 100% real?
It's a contact.
It's the present. Is the past real?
No.
The past is in your mind.
Yeah.
Is the future real? It's still in your mind. None of it is real. Your past is not real and your future is not real. So your goal of 50 is not real.
Okay.
What's real is the present. So the present, if today you say, I have to make 25 contacts, the only thing you have control over is those 25 contacts. Do you have control over the hail that we just got? No. We don't have, there's a lot of stuff we don't have control over. What do we have control over? We have control over our time and how we use it. So if it's broken, why did I have 42 contacts? It wasn't 38, it wasn't 57, it was 42. Because that was the number. Now, my 42nd contact, if I had nothing after that, I would go home. Because the next day I may have 3 appointments. Okay? So 42 was my number, no matter what. So it wasn't 41, it wasn't 43, it was 42.
So you did 42, but nothing done, you go home after you.
I go after. Oh yeah, I go after.
I shouted top producer.
My goal is 42 because I know that at 42, that's how many deals I'll do at the end of the year.
You don't punch around or just go home then.
I've done my job. I'm done. I'm gone. Because next day I may do 42, and guess what? 3 appointments.
I mean, you could if you want to, but if you end up going, you've done your job. For
And
the
if
day.
you do your job every day, you don't have to say, oh yeah, but I feel bad because yesterday I did 38. No, you did 42 the day before, and 42 today, and then 42 and 42.
As Mike says, the reason we work on our days off because we're not on the days that we're supposed to be on.
Yeah.
That's why he
So,
don't feel guilty not working.
I don't feel guilty at all. Because I never felt guilty. Because the number of days that I put in my schedule were real days. I never put over days. I knew I was going to take a month of vacation, 5 days, but I worked a total of about 210 days a year, 220 days. I don't know. So I knew that I would have days where it's going to be hailing and I'm not going to go to the office. I knew I had days where it's going to be beautiful outside. I'm going to go and just take a coffee and drive and just listen to music. I knew I had those days. And so I accounted for them in the beginning. When you do your business plan,
10 extra percent.
that's the 10%, right? So you have 300, you have hi,
Shumali,
how are you?
how are you?
Good.
Hi,
So you have these days in a year that you're supposed to be working, minus the vacation, training, whatever, minus 10%.
Well,
I never
actually,
felt guilty.
That might vary. At conferences and retreats, these are work days.
These are work, yeah.
They don't count as time off.
Okay? So I personally did not count them as time on. I personally counted them off. Because I was not going to process. I knew I didn't want to process.
Yeah.
I knew I was there for those 4 or 5 days. I didn't care. I didn't want to work these 5 days.
Well, I'll tell
So
you
for
why.
me, it was off. It was like a vacation.
I count them because
You're allowed.
I'm prospecting
Don't.
the room.
So stop.
No, for me.
Yeah.
I agree with Fadi,
networking-
just take those days out of the
They're
No,
bonuses.
I like networking,
Yeah,
and
that
I
bonus.
get a lot of referrals, so for me, and he knows, like, whenever he invited
Yeah.
us out,
Everybody
day
knows.
one,
Natal.
I told him, Fadi, I'm not coming to any of those dinners, I don't need you in the office. I don't need my office people. And I
Okay.
work those,
So,
for me, I'm prospecting.
I'm gonna cut that off. And
Okay.
Sabina, please.
Hi.
Come on in.
Hi.
Sabina has something to say to you guys.
Know most of you. I always want to say hi to the new faces. My name is Sabina. I'm the director of the services department. My department takes care of the services for the brokers, along with customer service and some accounting functionality. And every Tuesday, I like to just go over a few really important things to make sure that everybody is aware. And today, I'm going to start off with number 1. Anybody who probably tried to go into the prospecting center saw that it's completely dismantled. Please do not enter. They are locked, and if by chance they are not locked, please don't go in without asking one of us first, because
Is they're responsible, guys. They have liability.
it's
Okay?
dangerous. And if there's something that you were looking for that was there, come see one of us. We are the ones that packed up everything, so we should more or less know if there was something that was kept behind. Next question. A lot of people already know, but I just wanted to reconfirm that we have offices available for prospecting. Also, the training center right here, there is no boot camp this month and next month specifically so that we have a place where you can also prospect. So if you're not aware of which offices are available, there are signs on the doors. Come see Tina, come see me, and we can let you know. It is first come, first served every day. We need everybody to be cooperative in that manner. Please don't leave your stuff because you will be frustrated the next day. So please. And if you're not finding a space, come see me. I will find you a space. Okay, we're trying not to use the conference rooms because those are for clients, but in an emergency, if you have a lot of people in the office, we'll figure it out. Okay, so just come see me. And the last thing, I just wanted to make sure that everybody had a chance to fill in the lead generation survey that came out to you by email. I'm also going to post this in the group chat. So if you've not had a chance, if you want to scan the QR codes at the bottom, there is a French survey, there is an English survey, and basically we're asking for whether or not you would be interested in a type of leads program and what kind, a pay-as-you-go or monthly plan. This is very preliminary. We had a leads program before my time, but from my understanding, the quality of leads during the pandemic were really, really not great. Therefore, they put the whole program on pause. There was something that was developing.
What's this?
And then there's the expired list?
Yeah,
I don't even know about the
It had
expired
just about to
no,
start.
we,
and then it
we did the
wasn't.
pilot test, but it was during
What's this?
COVID, it was hard.
I missed
This is the survey on leads. So
Oh,
if you're interested in the leads program.
I already answered.
Thank you very much. So if anybody, there will be some posts around the office too, and those of you online, I will put in the group chat on WhatsApp. And that's it. Thank you all. Does anybody have questions for me? And this time I remember to ask. Questions,
There was
anything?
something about, you sent an email, I think, today about
The newsletter?
something.
The insurance?
No, the insurance I did it already. Yes, the insurance I did it. But there was something about photo shoot.
Okay.
That's all about.
Yeah, so, during some of the Tuesday trainings I've been mentioning that we were gonna have a photo shoot. So basically, we had a photographer who came on site to do headshots. And it wasn't widely publicized because just through that verbal communication, we had already booked the day. So we said, let's see how the day goes. Let's see how everybody feels after this photographer came in. And if we're happy, we have already reserved a second day. So that day will be advertised probably somewhere. We're gonna also see when the interest is. All we're asking is that in the July newsletter from the services department, just click on that, it says reserve my spot, that it'll just say, I'm interested, and send me an email. And as soon as I have some feedback, then I will be able to let everybody
So it's an intro.
So basically the package was 3 photos, edited, a headshot at 3/4 and a somewhat standing. So we did 3 different setups for that. And it was $99, tax included, which was a great deal. It's not gonna get
Or all three are done?
So you'll have, there's a selection from the gallery, you'll have a gallery, and from there you choose your 3 that you want. So that will be coming out.
Good.
If you haven't seen the newsletter, find my newsletter.
Any
It's sent out
questions?
Today, 9 a.m.
We're good?
Where's the
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks. Thank you so much.